Antitrust it's like a guillotine hanging over the neck of every company, and it could be used against every company. Every company. It's really, if you're pursuing profits, you can be held in violation of some element of the antitrust laws. And what so the government has this kind of arbitrary and overwhelming power. And then it's at their discretion against which companies are they going to unleash this power. And what happened was and one of the reasons the US tech industry led the world is that it was free of government control and government interference. And the Microsoft case was a major turning point in that. In that the Microsoft at the time of the case was the most successful tech company. It was making profits at the level that Apple is now making profits. Bill Gates was the richest person in the world at the time. And the government decided to use the antitrust laws against Microsoft. And one of the principal things, again, the idea that Microsoft was exploiting people, it was giving away an internet browser for free. It was before companies were charging. Now it's bundling it with the operating system, giving it away for free. That's how it was exploiting customers, by giving them a product for free. And so, it again, like that charge as that's exploitation is BS. What the government was doing is trying to say, we view your profits as obscene. We're going to break you up unless you do, in fact, unless you take orders from us. And part of what is so crippling about antitrust is, if these were real laws, there would be all kinds of stories before the Department of Justice launches a case against, and it's gone after Microsoft, it then went after Google, it's now going after Apple. Before it launched it, there would be all kinds of news stories saying, well, Microsoft is breaking the law and doing this. And in this case, in Apple, it would have been, well, Apple in having a new iPhone, that's against the law, and having an app store, that's against the law. There's no stories like that, because in operating a business, what is a company trying to do? It's trying to make a profit, which means new products, superior products, developing the next version of it. And in the case of a lot of tech companies, of thinking of how you can keep people in your ecosystem, how you can keep using Apple products, keep using Google search, stay on Facebook and Instagram. The companies are all thinking about this. And if that was a crime, then all these companies, the essence of the business would be a crime. So the whole thing is, nobody thinks it's a crime until the Department of Justice says, no, we don't like how you're using this and in the particular way in which you're doing it. And so now we're launching and saying it's illegal. And any law where you can't tell beforehand if my action is legal or illegal is an invalid law. And antitrust is exactly like this. The companies are all operating, and then all of a sudden the Department of Justice says, no, what you're doing is illegal. And nobody could know beforehand that it would be regarded as illegal. And so that it's so crippling. You were telling, and one can see this, I think, in the operation of Microsoft after they lost the antitrust case against the Department of Justice. What will happen with Apple, one of the reasons it's so crippling, they will be continuously thinking, I've got to do this for the interest of the company and profits, of like, how do we make the app store even more attractive that people want to stay in here and use it? And it might be illegal. They can't say like what would be illegal if we do this. It's just anything we do might be regarded as illegal, and we've got no idea what it's going to be, like what we will be permitted to do, what will be declared off limits, and you're all at the mercy of government bureaucrats and like administrators, and that's such a crippling position to be in, to have no idea of what is legal and what isn't, and so that the default then is to do nothing, because you have no idea if what you do will be legal or not, and that's what creates stagnation. And that you saw Microsoft for almost a decade basically a stagnant tech company, and that's almost like an oxymoron, that a tech company is stagnant. But that's what you saw. Microsoft now, because it's less likely they'll be in the crosshairs of the Department of Justice and the antitrust laws, is has recuperated some. But the same thing that happened to Microsoft will happen to Apple if the Department of Justice is successful. And if you value Apple, it's certainly good to post comments on the Washington Post and so on, but write to your government officials to say that what the government is doing is perverse.